A lot of students believe that grade 10 is about writing hundreds of papers, but that's not true. Grade 10 is about understanding concepts well and applying them. So before we go through the whole video, let me introduce myself. I am Pranav Sheth, an ICSE student, and I scored 98.8 in the top 5 and 98.4 in the aggregate of all subjects in 2025-2026 board examinations. And in this video, we're going to cover everything, all subjects, everything that is necessary for grade 10 exams, grade 10 boards. So if you are watching this video, you don't need to watch any other video on the internet because I will be covering everything. And if I'm a student, you know that you can relate with me and you'll be able to understand things better. So let's begin. And before we begin, if you think your parent might be pressurizing you in 10th, you can bring them to this video. You can help them watch this video so that they can also understand what's important and what's not, because parents might relate their boards to your boards, and that's why there might be a difference in their lessons and our lessons. So if you want your parent to watch this video, it is the best thing you can ever do in 10th. So the first four things we're going to talk about is the core philosophy of 10th. Anytime during 10th, always prefer quality over quantity. Don't study for 10 hours and just waste your time. Study for 2 hours, but study as if you're studying for excellence. Study as if you can remember everything in one go. Study with full focus for those 2 hours. You don't need to study for 10 hours, but when you focus for 2 hours, study that well. Study nicely. The second core philosophy is, if you are looking for motivation in 10th, maybe that's not going to come. You'll have to start 1-2 hours daily from right now so that you can ace 10th easily. If you start studying in December or Jan, it will be too late. You might get good marks, but you will have to run to catch up with your friends or catch up with your peer group. So my advice is that start studying from today. If not 5 hours, just 1 or 2 hours daily. And I'm telling you that's enough if you do it consistently every day. The third core philosophy is understand first, memorize later. In 10th, there are some things which you need to memorize, but my point is first focus on understanding the concept, understanding the reason, understanding the cause, the outcome, everything, and then if you need to memorize, then only memorize. I know biology definitions you definitely need to memorize, but that too can be done later. First, focus on concept clarity because that's of utmost importance, because ICSE is moving towards application based questions where memorizing has less importance and understanding has more importance. And the fourth philosophy, which is a no brainer, is don't chase 10-hour study schedules. You don't have to study for 10 hours, because if you start studying for 10 hours, you will get burnt out in the first month and you won't be able to study till your board exams. That's why I'm telling you study 1-2 hours daily, and that's enough to ace boards. Don't run behind busy schedules, run behind quality focused work. Study for 2 hours, but study as if you're studying for 10th, actual 10th. And that's how you can actually study well in 2 hours. Now, let's talk about the 5 non negotiables for 10th. The first non negotiable is you have to read the textbook thoroughly, no matter what. If you listen to audio lessons, that might not help as much. If you read and understand, will help. So if you can actually read the textbook, that's going to be crazy, and I guarantee you'll be ahead of your competitors for sure. So the first philosophy or the first non-negotiable is read textbook thoroughly, no matter what. And thoroughly is with a pencil and the book so that you can underline what's important. The second non-negotiable is make short notes. Always reading the same chapter every time is not feasible. So once you read the chapter, try to make short notes so that you can refer to them when you need to do a quick revision before the exam. before the prelims, before the board also. If you don't believe me, that's your problem, but actually I referred to my history short notes of World War One and World War Two pre-boards, like just one day before boards. That's what I did, and that's what I just prepared with. And I gave the board exams and I got 100 on 100 in history. So short notes are very crucial. The third non-negotiable is keep reading textbook. The textbook has to be read repeatedly, maximum thrice, but minimum twice. Like you have to, of course, do it for 2 times because that will help you learn it better. The fourth non-negotiable is a formula book for physics and maths, because physics and maths is too vast and you need to remember a lot of formulas. So making a formula book from day one will help you a lot. I will try to attach it in the description, but making one for your own self is crazy. It will help you every time you need a formula, and that will help you memorize it faster. And the fifth non-negotiable is you have to definitely learn definitions for some subjects. Biology, history, physics, some definitions, chemistry, some definitions, and that's important. Chemistry mostly has electron affinity, ionization potential, electronegativity, electropositivity, atomic radius, all of this stuff in the first chapter, the periodic table, right? And one thing you definitely need to remember is don't study from the notes from day one. Notes are for, just pre-board revision or pre-exam revision. If you study from notes from day one, you will not have concept depth. You will have just the surface layer of concept, and that will stop you from actually using your concept for application based questions. So never start learning from notes from day one, whichever class notes it might be, but always learn from the textbook first and use notes only to revise. The best thing to do is read the textbook first and then refer the notes, so that you can also brush up your concepts while reading the notes. Most parents believe that writing hundreds of papers will help their students or will help your child ace 10th. And this is a real story I'm going to share with you. I had a friend who wrote hundreds of papers, literally hundreds, but he did not score as much as I did. And if you say it might be caliber difference, no, not at all. He was as smart as me, but just because he wrote papers for quantity, just to show everybody that I wrote 100 papers is a problem. And if you're also doing it with quality 100 papers, it won't help. What will help you more is actually reading the textbook and then writing 5 papers for each subject is enough. You don't need to write 100 papers. And for maths, I believe solving the difficult PYQs, previous year questions, is good. Solving board past 4 to 5 year papers is also good. If you ask me personally, I haven't even solved maybe 5 papers for each subject. The maximum I would have done for maths is 4, and that too before boards, just on the screen, orally. I have not written papers. And I know every child is different, but जब लिख के काम करना होता है वो रट्टा मार जैसा काम हो जाता है. उससे अच्छा focus on concept clarity, understand the concept better, apply it to different types of questions on a paper. You don't need to solve everything in a paper. You just need to select some questions of a paper, solve it, understand what's going wrong, rectify your mistake, and that's it. You don't need to solve 100 papers, yeah. Just solve 5 papers max if you feel you want to. I believe solving 0 is also completely fine. You just need to have concept clarity. But if you want, you can solve 1 year previous board papers if you want to. That can be a bare minimum if you want to, set a big or higher target for your board percentage. Solving like 2025, 2026 previous year board papers is good. The best papers to solve is the previous year ICSE board exam papers only. And for all the physics lovers, as in the students who have opted for science, physics का पेपर हर वक्त फाड़ू आता है. Physics is maybe the toughest paper they can ever set, and that's actual sense, that's actual truth, because they have been doing this since last 3 to 4 years, and physics के papers seem to be easy, but उसमें उतना गोल 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 घुमा लेते हैं कि you don't understand what's asked, and you actually can't even give a proper answer for the question. और उसमें लोग अटक जाते हैं. Getting 100 in physics is the toughest thing I can ever, like, that's the toughest in the board. And I believe physics के लिए starting से textbook पढ़ना is the best thing. Start studying the textbook from day one for physics. Physics मतलब physics is equal to numerical, समझ के मत बैठो. Physics is also equal to theory. Theory is as important as numericals in physics. I know numericals has more weightage, but if you are aiming to get 90 plus, understanding and studying the theory is very important. I did a mistake. I did not study the theory until Jan. But if you actually want to listen to a brother's advice, I'm telling you, start studying the physics theory also. I have friends who have scored 75, 85, 76, 65, 70 in physics. So please be careful and start studying physics with full focus. Not just numericals, also the theory. And for all the economic students, I am not an economic student, but I received advice from my friend to actually convey it in this video that economics is also about theory plus understanding the concept well. I don't know much, but that's what he told me. So if you actually want to ace economics too, I'll make a separate video with my friend for that topic, and for that just comment economics and I will help you with that too. A lot of people ask me, Pranav bhaiya, school जाना important है क्या? I believe yes, because आपके पास 75 to 80% attendance compulsory है. You need to go for at least 80% of the days, right? So मेरे हिसाब से go until September, October, and from October or November, as per your own convenience, as per your own need, start taking 1 or 2 leaves every week. Not much, maybe one is enough, one every week until December, Jan, until whenever the school is open. Because if you take a lot of leaves, there's a lot of problems that happen due to attendance criteria. So please avoid that problem and focus on how you can get better results without actually, taking a lot of leaves. Going to school is different fun and that's interesting. So don't miss out school. Go for 85-90% of the days and rest 10%, be at home, study, and please utilize that time. I've seen people who take holidays just for the sake of it, don't study at that point of time. So that's not worth it. उससे अच्छा school जाओ, मस्ती करो, मजे करो, that's more important because you're not going to meet those friends after a year. So if you actually want to study, take one leave from September, October every week and that's enough. Or if you feel you can manage without the leaves, please enjoy school life. That's also important. I miss a lot of my school life, so I hope you don't. And I know you are going to, but at least you can have more memories that you can create. And now, coming to subject-wise discussion, history plus geography is all about reading the textbook thoroughly, making short notes, making flow charts, and I have made my different way of flow charts for history. And if you want to see that, comment history and I will definitely make a separate video on that for you. Now talking about maths is all about learning different types of questions that come, solving every type of question that can come, learning the formulas, learning how to apply those formulas, learning how to actually convert values from SI units to normal units to SI units, all of that is very important. Now talking about science. Science is about concept clarity, reading the textbook well, learning the definitions, understanding what it is. Just don't mug up things in science because science will test you if you don't take it seriously, and that test will be your worst test if you don't take it seriously. Take science seriously, start studying well, start understanding the concepts well. Concepts is everything. Concept is king. Talking about literature and language, English literature and English language, English language can only be improved if you read. If you read newspapers, if you read books, non-fiction, fiction, if you learn new words, if you improve your vocabulary, if you can convey your thoughts well. And the best way to improve your English language is just read and practice writing, because speed is what matters in an English language paper. I was going to miss 20 marks of my English language paper because of my slower writing. But I avoided that because of my MCQs. But that's very important. I got 98 in language, and I'm telling you that's only because I read books, I read newspapers, I learned vocabulary, I learned new words, and that too occasionally. If you do it consistently, you can score 100. So there's no upper limit to it, but you can do it to improve your language, to your communication skills, because that's going to help you in real life. Talking about literature, literature is all about textbook. Textbook, textbook, textbook. Read the textbook as much times as possible, because you need to understand the story well. You need to know the keywords well. You need to know JC well. You need to know Brutus well. You need to know everybody well. Every character you need to know very nicely to actually ace in the literature paper. And for your information, I scored 100 in literature. So if you want a detailed video about literature, comment literature and I will help you with that too. Now, coming to Hindi. Hindi is all about your writing skills, your handwriting too. Handwriting is very important in all papers, because the teacher or the examiner needs to understand, or the paper corrector needs to understand your language to actually to give marks, right? So please make your handwriting neat. If your handwriting is worst, at least try to leave spaces so that people can at least try to understand, right? So how do you ace in Hindi? I scored 99 in Hindi, and if you want a detailed video on this too, comment Hindi and I will try to make one. So for Hindi, you need to actually, of course, read the textbook very well, learn and practice answers by writing, because Hindi can only be aced by writing, because Hindi language is such that we tend to make spelling errors. My Hindi was the worst in ninth. I used to write a single line and there would be 50 mistakes in that single line. Sorry, I'm exaggerating, 5 or 10 mistakes. So, to fix that issue, you need to write and practice. You need to write Hindi papers. If you ask me, getting a Hindi coaching is a very good option, because you will be able to write papers easily and they will be able to correct you for your mistakes. So if you can get a Hindi coaching, that's going to be wonderful. And finally, talking about electives, electives is generally different for everybody because there are a lot of options. I had physical education as my elective, and that helped me score 100 in that too. Physical education is maybe the most easiest because that's about sports. So you usually see sports, play sports, so you know most of the rules, and that makes it easier. For other electives, if you want me to make a video, I will collab with my friend. I will ask him to share his experience, share his guidance, so that you can also know what do you need for each elective and what's important, what's not, and how can you be better in that elective and score full marks. And this part is especially for the parents. Parents, don't worry. Your kids will ace boards nicely if they study 1 2 hours daily. You don't need to pressurize them daily, because pressure creates fear in them for boards. Boards is not so dangerous. Boards is completely fine. You will understand that boards are easy once they go through them. I know it appears as a big obstacle in front of you, but don't worry. I know your kids will easily ace 10th if they study 1 2 hours daily. I can't of course guarantee them acing 10th if they don't study nicely, but if they study with full focus, no one can stop them from acing 10th nicely. What I have observed is that many parents push kids to study, and that's not a way to study, because they study out of fear. Instead, they have to actually study with excellence for concept clarity. So if you are a parent who pushes your child, please be aware, because I have seen kids who are very good in the start, but because of their parents, because of the pushiness, they weren't able to score good, because after some point of time they start fearing exams because they feel मेरे parents को मेरे को खुश करना है. They they study out of fear, they study out of anxiety, and that's a problem. So parents, don't pressurize them, don't push them, and that does not mean you don't tell them to study, but that does not also mean that you tell always them, like you always tell them to study. If they are eating food, let them eat food. कितना पोर्शन बाकी है, क्या सिलेबस बाकी है, बोर्ड्स आ रहे हैं, पढ़ ले, पढ़ता नहीं है, फोन देखता है, ये सब बोलने की जरूरत नहीं है. आई नो सम किड्स नीड पुश, बट दैट डज नॉट मीन आप उनको पूरे दिन हेलीकॉप्टर जैसे आपके सर पे घूम के उसको बोलते रहो कि पढ़ो 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 पढ़ो, बिकॉज दैट क्रिएट्स अ प्रॉब्लम. दे डू स्टडी इन फ्रंट ऑफ यू, बट देन उनका जो मोटिवेशन, उनका जो कंसिस्टेंसी वो धीरे धीरे ड्रॉप होने लगता है, बिकॉज दे बिलीव कि आपको उन पर ट्रस्ट ही नहीं, मतलब आपको उन पर ट्रस्ट ही नहीं कि वो पढ़ रहे हैं, वो कर रहे हैं. सो आई नो यू नीड टू प्रेशराइज देम, यू नीड टू पुश देम, बट टू अ सर्टेन लिमिट. आपका काम है प्रेशराइज करना. आई नो यू आर डूइंग इट फॉर देयर गुड, बट इट्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट that they also understand it well. If they take it in a negative sense, वो उनकी भी गलती नहीं है, because that's our tender age, right? And if you tell us कि पढ़ो 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 पढ़ो, we won't be able to study, because हम भी बच्चे हैं, हमें भी मेमोरीज बनानी है. And I know मेरी पेरेंट्स फील कि उन लोगों ने बहुत हार्ड वर्क कर लिया लाइफ में, बहुत आगे चले गए लाइफ में, इसलिए उनके बच्चे को भी बहुत आगे बढ़ना है. मैं समझता हूँ. I know your kid needs to work hard, your kid needs to get good results, पर उसका मतलब ये नहीं है कि आप उसको उसके दोस्तों के साथ बात ना करने दो, उसके दोस्तों के साथ उसको बाहर ना जाने दो, बिकॉज 10th एक ऐसा साल है जो लास्ट ईयर है स्कूल का फॉर मोस्ट ऑफ अस, राइट? सो व्हाई शुड नॉट यू अलाउ देम टू प्ले विद देम? व्हाई शुड नॉट यू अलाउ देम टू डू नाइट आउट्स विद देम? आई नो दैट माइट डिस्ट्रैक्ट मेनी पीपल, बट भाई एक दो बार तो करने दो, एक दो बार तो एंजॉय करने दो, बिकॉज 10th इज अ ईयर वेन यू माइट फील कि बस रिजल्ट रिजल्ट रिजल्ट, बट एक्चुअली पता है रिजल्ट एक महीने बाद कोई नहीं याद रखता बोर्ड के रिजल्ट के बाद. It's more about the relationships you have with your fellows, with your peers. ये मेरे को पता है बिकॉज मेरा 10th अभी खत्म हुआ है, एंड रिजल्ट क्या बस वो एक वीक तक रहता है, बट बाद में इट्स ऑल अबाउट द रिलेशनशिप, द बॉन्ड यू हैव विथ योर फ्रेंड्स, योर पेरेंट्स. तो व्हाट हैपेंस एक्चुअली इज पेरेंट चाइल्ड का रिलेशनशिप भी कभी कभी बिगड़ जाता है इन दिस केस. इसलिए वो मत होने दो, बिकॉज यू डोंट नो व्हेन योर किड माइट स्टॉप आस्किंग यू फॉर हेल्प, might stop asking you for advice, कि वो भी बड़े हो रहे, right? They will also mature someday. Don't let that bond fade. Let it be a evergreen bond and let it stay. So उसके लिए let it be a healthy relationship. ऐसा नहीं कि पढ़ो पढ़ो पढ़ो. That's the only thing you tell to them. That's not right. And 10th में you can easily, enjoy. You can go out. You can have some lunch, dinner, go out on some walk with your kids, or let them go with your friends, and that's completely fine until they study every day consistently. That's more important. मतलब enjoying life is not a problem, but enjoy ही करना, पढ़ना छोड़ देना is a problem. And I know कि parents को लगेगा कि enjoy कर रहे हो मतलब पढ़ना छोड़ ही दिया, ऐसा नहीं है. They do study. They are also concerned about their reputation. They also have a reputation at school. They need to maintain that reputation. तो आप उसकी चिंता मत करो. They will study. They will ace 10th, and that will be a very and they will ace 10th with a very good score, so don't worry about that thing. So now it's time for a final message कि 10th is not a big year, is a very good year for the memories you make. 10th is such a year that you will remember your friends for a lifetime. You will remember the memories for a lifetime, because those memories once created will always stay in your head. I went to my school 2 days back, and you won't believe, I still remember my days when I used to walk with my friends. I used to talk with them, I used to chit chat, I used to bunk classes, but that's a process of enjoying यार. मतलब मेरे हिसाब से लाइफ में एंजॉय करना इतना ही इंपॉर्टेंट जितना सक्सेसफुल होना है, बिकॉज सक्सेस तो ऐसे ही कि सक्सेस कभी खत्म नहीं होती. देयर इज नो एंड टू सक्सेस, बट देयर इज ऑलवेज एन एंड टू लाइफ. तो लाइफ में एंजॉय करना भी उतना ही जरूरी है जितना लाइफ में सक्सेसफुल होना है. So let them enjoy also, let them be successful also. Both can be done simultaneously if you are focused, if you study well. And this is a message for both kids and parents, so please understand. तो kids, आपको kids क्या, मेरे भाई लोग, मेरी बहन लोग, आपको मजे भी करना है, पढ़ना भी है, दोनों साथ में करना है. I am telling you, 10th will be such a year कि आपको पढ़ना तो याद रहेगा ही, बट उससे ज़्यादा ये याद रहेगा कि आपने कितने दोस्तों के साथ मस्ती की है, कितना टाइम पास किया लाइफ में, कितनी अलग अलग टाइप की मेमोरीज बनाई है, अलग अलग वॉशरूम में जाके, क्लासरूम में जाके, घूम घूम के, टीचर पढ़ा रही है बाहर रह के। बट इसका मतलब ये नहीं है मैं बंकिंग प्रमोट कर रहा हूँ। मेरा मतलब ये है कि एंजॉय करना भी उतना ही इम्पोर्टेंट है जितना आप पढ़ना समझते हो। आई नो इट्स 10th, but enjoying is that much important also. And I know you will score the best, all the best. And if you have any queries, I'll put my email in the chat box or in the description box. And if you have anything that you think I can help you with, please give me a mail and I will be very happy to help you personally on a video call or on a voice call. And that might help you too, and that will help me too to actually get better at my networking and communication skills. So thank you. I know you will score the best in 10th, and 10th is not a big obstacle. It's just a small, simple year. And I know you will do it, guys. You will do it. All the best. Bye bye.